Hey, it's the Carlton Brown Foundation Show. Hey, I want to come to you today and I want to bring you a powerful presentation from Martin Luther King, because it's going to be about educational neglect and about this young lady in New York named Cassie. You know, we're going to keep fighting for our sisters. We got her back because we got the light of truth, and we're going to prove she got a case beyond a reasonable doubt. Martin Luther King said that we don't need leaders in love with money. We need leaders in love with justice. We need leaders not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity, so that they manifest into the community and it bears witness for everyone to see. So, you know, that's what we're going to be about today. That's what we're about today. We're about each one, teach one. We're going to be talking about educational neglect. We're going to be talking about the real story of slavery. See, the real story of slavery, you can go up on the African Culture page on Facebook, African Culture page, culture, African culture. You'll be able to see the truth about the educational system in America, which was fought from the beginning. It was forced education. Okay, the natives uproared and fought all across the country. When they came over here to institute, when they talk about the slave trade, what they don't tell you is when they got over here, the African people were already here. What they did, they shipped them out to Africa, right, for commodities and resources. And then they shipped them from Africa again into the Americas, Haiti, Brazil, and all them places, and back into America. And then they changed the story and said it was a slave trade. Okay? That's the truth of the slave trade, what they're not telling, right? Okay, now we're gonna go on to the first slide, and we're gonna talk about the original Christians. We're gonna talk about not a fairy tale that was created in the Nicene Council in 325, and then listened to and then went over and implemented from Emperor Constantine, and then they went out and burned all the books in the world to keep people from learning the truth. And they're still running around the country digging up people's artifacts and hiding lies and hiding pyramids all over America, technology, information, all over the world, right? You know, the light of truth is here. We got pyramids, they're not Indian mounds, right? The map shows right here. Not only did we worship Christ in Egypt, her name was Isis, and the baby's name is Haru, Christ, and the Arabs call her Miriam, and Miriam or Mariamum is the name of Serapis, which is the fake European Jesus that they created in the Nicene Council in 325. Go up to Negos, Google it, Nicene Council. This is the age of information. This is about the truth. We're not teaching these fairy tales and lies no more to our children, destroying them to have an opportunity for the future because of forced education. The American educational system was created by a bunch of insane people and then implemented across the country to where now some people even think this is the way it is. And it was never like this. In Africa, 130,000 years ago, 40,000 years ago, up in Russia, we was already there. It's showing the map of migration. In America, we was already here and we worship the Christ, right? You know, this is the map. All over the world. We don't have no book with some people done wrote it, fairy tales, right? We got hieroglyphs. We got proofs, okay? Now, we're gonna move on to the next document, which is the picture of the original Christ, the original Jesus, that has been worshiped for over 130,000 years, okay? Now, when they went, like my brother said on our last show, when they went into Spain and killed the Moors on that April Fool's Day, which they celebrate as April Fools, they chopped all their heads off and put them on poles and burnt all the books and stole the maps and then run around teaching us a bunch of fairy tales. Okay? Yeah, they know us in the Arctic. Yeah, they know what was up under the ice because they stole the maps from us. Murdered and genocide. These are the These are the good people who are teaching forced education, subjugating the people, okay? Exile in our own land, okay? This is our land. That's what they don't want you to know. The truth is out now, okay? Now, we'd like you to talk about this, Mr. Ella Haru, Stanley Exactly. You know, this is your field right here. You know, the Haru and Aset. And then the lady, the black lady is the one, and where it shows the woman in the crown and all that, and the baby, you know, a little more modern. That's what they worship over in Wales, right? Mm-hmm. Before the Wales that they have now are the ones who went in and killed our people and then plagiarized their pictures and said they was them, just like they did our religion and said they was Christians when they ain't never been no Christian. Mm-hmm. That's why don't nothing Christian come out in their actions, and every community in the city is damn, and they killing African people all over the world. Because ain't nothing in them that got nothing to do with being no Christian. But I'm going to let you go ahead and expound on that.
Yes, Carlton, the worship of the mother goddess is ancient, like you said, and it goes back tens of thousands of years. Before the Bible was written, before the story of Adam and Eve was said to have taken place, this is the real culture of humanity. Of course, you know, like you said, the purpose of the history that we have been taught here in the United States is for the purpose of socially engineering people, mm-hmm. Black people and white people. White people engineered to believe that the world was flat until 1492, and nothing happened before then. And then after that, there was a manifest destiny that said that, white skin, people with white skin had the right to run the world and frankly ruin the world at their own pleasure, whereas black people were taught, well, you didn't exist, you didn't have nothing, you didn't know anything. All you were was a spear chucker and playing drums and chucking spears.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else that ever came that you ever did. When we know all these things are a lie, they're a lie about the past and they're a lie about our past, even here in the United States. So the ancient worship of the ancient mother is older than what we know. And of course, as time goes in each generation, just like in each culture, there are like mutations of the same ideal. So we had Aset or Nuit in the beginning. Now we have Mother Mary and Jesus.
Yeah, and you know I'm telling you the truth.
Yes.
Because you'll see the Pope up there, right?
Right.
The European Pope, the liar and the murderer and genocide committer, running around still poisoning and killing all of humanity under a false god that was created in the Nicene Council, which was Serapis, the emperor of Egypt, appointed by Alexander the Great, a genocide committer, both of them, and they still genocide committers. Run around acting like they're not killing humanity and poisoning all of humanity when it's the European Catholic Church that started all this, and they are still implementing it around the world. We're going to move on to the next slide, and we're going to talk about the Black Prince Edward and Prince of Wales. Mm-hmm. Okay? Since people think that I'm saying something about the Prince of Wales because they done stole our people's identity. They even plagiarized their photos and whitened them up to play like they was them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Switch their heads and put a white person face on it, just to say that they was the Prince of Wales. Well, you bear witness to a lie, right? Jesus had a son. Credu Mutwa said so. Mm-hmm. Guess where they worshiping? They went at the Wales. Mm-hmm. Okay, you know the truth is the life and the way. You know, so we're gonna move on to the next slide, cause we're gonna move on through this show, cause we got some good stuff for y'all. We wanna make sure we get through this today. We're gonna move on to show you the original people and the map when they came over here, who was already here. The slave trade they teaching in the movies and they got in the books is a lie. Y'all shipped the original African people that was out to Africa for commodities and resources and labor, because y'all had too many of them over here to control, right? Then you shipped them back, and then shipped them through the Americas and back into America, and then you forgot to tell the party that they was already here, right? Because you want to steal our land. You don't want the people to know that they are aboriginal, original native people all over the planet.
That's right.
This is our land. No wonder you run around consistently trying to subjugate the people, talking about you don't know what we're talking about. Well, I want you to look at this, and then you can expand on that a little bit, because this is the map. It's talking about the people with visual proof who was already
Well,
here.
the map doesn't lie, because it was the Europeans who made this map at the time that this was actual real. And map was done in the 18th, the late 18th century. And so on the map, as you can see, those people didn't look like the ones that we see now. Just the same way with, for example, if you look at Hawaii, now we know that, just like in Tasmania and Australia and Hawaii, all the people were black. But now when you see Hawaiians and Tasmanians and they look different.
They light-skinned though.
They look different.
Yeah, they're different.
So
Yeah.
and the way the education system has created in our minds, when I'm talking about the public education,
They created it.
They teach
Just
you,
like they created the Bible.
They teach you,
Yeah.
and they displace these people,
Lies.
kill the people, genocide, or the ones who were left, kind of like what do you call them? Screen them out or
Yeah.
wash them,
Yeah.
wash them
Rape
out.
their women and wash them out.
Right. So
Same thing they do today.
then
Yeah.
they teach the people here, well, that doesn't belong to you. Those people have nothing to do with you. You're all alone.
Yeah, they're liars.
Well,
Yeah.
it's part of the minds creating a mindset where you can then accept whatever somebody tells you.
Yes.
Because you feel powerless.
You feel
Or you
powerless.
feel like
Yes.
you don't belong, not only here, but you don't
anywhere.
belong anywhere.
Yeah, you don't even belong to Africa.
That's right.
You ain't got nowhere, and they done stole your land. They don't belong here, right? But we not into trying to kick you off,
Right.
right? But we're not going to allow you to continue to kill our people.
No.
We get these
no.
resources, either we'll separate. We don't care what you do. We will exist with or without you. You the one can't exist without us. You the one that can't even come out in the sun. You the one that your organs don't work. You the one that are, what do you call it? A mutation. Not us, right? You need our organs. You need our blood to survive. We don't need nothing from you, right? And if you didn't try to take it, maybe it wouldn't end like
and
this.
this is what social engineering does. When you try to create a false world that basically divides humanity into two sides, what do you create? You create conflict and war because it's not founded on the truth.
It's not found on truth, it's found on lies. You got people using the truth, and you got people believing in fairy tales and lies that these evil people, and then their children are running around teaching this stuff and carrying it on, trying to say they ain't got nothing to do with it. And you have food deserts all across the city, poisoning every community across the country. And then y'all walking around smiling in people's face, marching in the street like y'all helping. Now it ain't gonna work no more. You don't change your actions, ain't nothing how. We're gonna move on to the next side. We're gonna show you the America when they got here, when they started changing the name, right? Because first they tried this name. Check this out. I want to help my brother. It said, well said all American Indians were pale and red skin with straight hair, but you found dark skinned ones with afros. Check this out, Brother Elliot, right here.
Yes.
I got you right here.
Yes.
You want to go on there and expound and let us know what you see, and because we need to. One moment of truth can put out hundreds of years of lies. So that's what we're about today. We're about the truth and putting out those lies.
Well, the truth is right there in front of us. I mean, we can see that all Indians did not have straight hair. Just like all black people do not have woolly hair. We have both. And so, but this is a actual document from that time showing representative of what the American Indians look like. And you see a black woman with an afro. Now that's not
And a Christian is what she was. Because see, they worship the original Christ.
okay. Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
They stole our identity. They said, we the Christians. No, you're not. These are the Christians. Manifest. Been worshiping it for over 130,000 years. Okay?
Yeah, and that's the biggest crime to humanity, is that we are not giving our people, that means all of our people, all human beings, the information that they need about human civilization, human technology that is older than what we've been presently using, and it was better. You see, because the technology that those ancient people used obviously was far superior to have it survived 10,000 years in some cases. And we can also say, what we can also say about it is that it didn't pollute the water. It didn't cause animals to go extinct.
Right.
It didn't cause the land
To
die and be in turmoil.
Or
the ocean.
Or the
to die.
ocean. Or the poisoning of all foods they would bad
So
ourselves.
this whole ideal of, well, this needed to be done because we have superior minds, we have superior technology, is a lie.
Yeah,
And
ain't
it's
nothing
as
superior.
you always say, is manifested.
Yeah.
And we all, not just people of color, everybody suffers from it.
That's right. Well, we're going to move on to the next one. We're going to move on to Africa was called Ethiopia, and the Atlantic Ocean was called the Ethiopian Ocean, right? Ethiopia, Africa or Africanus is a European, right? When 8 European countries sat down in 1885 at the Berlin Treaty of 1885, when they divided up the resources of Africa, the only country was at the table was Haile Selassie, only African organization, and he told them, it may be us today, but
That's
it will
right.
be y'all tomorrow.
That's right.
And now y'all have lost control of Africa. The 54 countries of the African Union got control of it. So I want to let you go on here and spank. This is your field right here. This is the original map of Africa. And what needs to be taught, truth in the schools, instead of these fairy tales and lies from these evil people trying to run around and say that we are practicing educational neglect because they have committed crimes against humanity, ruled by 118 countries in the United Nations just last year. That's
Yes.
war crimes, their educational system.
Yeah, Carlton, there's no dispute or no doubt that Africans had boats. And they used those boats to go to places like Easter Island, Hawaii, Pacific, Vietnam, America, all over. I mean, this is, they have artifacts and bones that go back 10,000 years in South America, for example. So there's no question about it.
I mean, it's, and the ones who know this history are our African royalty, our African kings and chiefs and princes, right? And I've been working with them.
Yes.
And
Yes, you
they're
have.
about that change that is required today.
Yes.
Because the light of truth has did its work.
Yes.
Turn on CNN.
Yes.
We're going to start teaching our own people, right?
Yes.
People say, well, he just talking, he don't know nothing yet. Well, him who is in me is greater than who is in the world,
That's
and he's
right.
also in you,
That's right.
right? And then when unity comes about in his name, right, all things are possible.
Yes.
And they will manifest into our communities for the world to see. All you gotta do is turn on TV, right?
Right.
We got kings. We will teach our own people from this point forward. We don't need you to tell our history no more. And he went around to all the royalty throughout Britain and I asked them to return what they have stolen. Because it's grave robbery, they have committed genocide and crimes against humanity and stolen our artifacts, run around hollering that it's artifacts in order to grave rob, stealing our artifacts and technology. Enough is enough.
Yes, I'm reminded of that song, a line from the song that Bob Marley sang. He says, "What can you say about a hopeless sinner who will destroy the whole world just to save his own beliefs?" The world is more important than anyone's belief, the pride that they have behind what they believe, especially when the belief is not founded on the truth.
Yeah, because it brings death into the world of the living.
That's right.
So if it was true, turn on your TV. And anything it got to do with brings death into the community, poisoning the whole communities. Genocide, people starving to death all over the world.
So unnecessary.
And it's enough resources, and always has been, and enough room on the planet to grow enough food for everybody. And these people have did it on purpose. Period. And it's insane, right? And we will remember the silence of we will not remember our enemies, but we will remember the silence of our friends when we look at them, right? Because when this money flow in, when you think that you're not going to be held accountable for not caring, your same friend going to look at you and see you for the creature that you are. So it's time to get up and be a doer about solutions instead of an actor. Well, we're going to move on to the last slide of this, and this is the Holy Mount Zion, right? This is the Ham, Africa, Eden. This is the real Christians. This is who we are before these people stole our identity, right? And plagiarized everything that we got. Even took the cross and corrupted it and changed it, right? We don't worship spirits. We don't worship ghosts. We worship people from the stars. We worship reality, right? And then all of our principles are not the worship of them people. Right. They are spiritual principles and guides and the way that the body functions in order for us to live in righteousness. Y'all are the liars, the murderers, and the thieves, not us.
Yeah, well,
so you want to let you go on to that when you get time. Go ahead and explain.
All scientists agree, Carlton, that the human race came out of Africa.
Yeah, they knew
and
that.
So this is not for us who are living this age, this time, the information age. This shouldn't be new news to us, and it shouldn't be something that we have to adjust to. Facts are what they are, and so we just need to appreciate that. Now, part of it is also talking about, if you say that, then you need to listen to the ancestors and what they taught us about the beginning.
That's before the ancestors
Africa
were the angels,
is Eden.
until the Europeans came in and said, oh, it's no longer ancestors, so we're going to change it to angels.
Eden.
They twisted everything.
Eden represents the beginning of humanity. Africa is Eden. The African people, the griots, what did they teach us about? They taught us that we came from the stars. So all this other stuff,
the stuff they did.
All this other stuff that you making up, you have to weigh that against the people. Now, when I was growing up, my great grandmother, she was a part of the Sioux Nation, and she when I was 4 years old, or 3 or 4 years old, she would get me and look me straight in the eye and tell me, who I was, and say, you were as good as anybody else. Of course, this was during the time when, segregation was still present.
They were still trying to wipe out the identity that this was all our land, trying to make sure we forgot.
And said, you are as good as anybody else, but you don't disrespect people. You don't look up at anybody, don't look down at anybody, but look them straight in the eye. But the whole point of what I learned from that, is about equality. We need to understand that this is not about one versus the other, the rich versus the poor, the high versus the low, the light versus the dark. It's about equality and understanding that the only way we can move forward is that we respect everybody.
Yes, and the truth is the only way that we can get to that.
That's right.
You know, when they want to know about Ham, when you want to know about the real Christian, when you want to know the real story about the slave trade, instead of these fairy tales and lies, like when they created that book and put them in there.
Yeah.
And then they took
Social engineering.
certain stuff off the hieroglyphs. And then you got the Arabs. I having a conversation with an Arab. You know, tell me, my book's real. I said, okay, well, you agree that the European book is a fabrication created in the Nicene Council in 325 and he never existed. But in your book, it says that he is real. Both of y'all lying. Both of y'all, in Arab countries, they castrate a black child and give him to an Arab child as a slave. Ain't no God condone that. That's man stuff.
That's right.
They took all the stuff from the hieroglyphs, instituted it. Even Abraham is not his original name. Yusuf is Imhotep's name. Joseph is Imhotep's name in both of them's book. Didn't even exist. Nowhere on the planet. None of these people named in the book. There ain't no picture because he don't exist. Okay? You know, this is the age of information, right?
Yeah.
We as African people have our own. We don't care nothing about your fairy tales, and you ain't gonna make us worship it. We had enough of your stuff. We got 5 aircraft carriers. You want some trouble? Take y'all way back in the Stone Ages. Your whole city. You need to back off. You need to go and enslave your own people. And quit trying to steal our resources along with these Europeans serving chemicals and poisoning our people out throughout every community in America. Y'all in it together. Okay? You know, I'm not gonna let y'all slide up under the radar. Running around acting like y'all trying to kill each other. You a liar and a murderer. Cause y'all doing it to yourself. We don't have no pity for you, right? We don't have no respect for you until you get on the light of truth. You know, I'm so passionate about that.
Yes, yes.
You know, I have been taught all these lies. Y'all right now in school teaching our children these lies. Telling them they slaves. Not telling them that y'all took them from their own land and shipped them to Africa and shipped them back and told them they slaves and they don't own nothing. You a liar. And the proof is right here. So sad. You are the one responsible for educational neglect. America. Educational genocide and crimes against humanity across every spectrum in every area of life in America for African people. And we have our own resources, and it's about change. We're not upset today because, see, you might not be able to change the past, but what we can do together, we can change the present and the future. Okay? Now, I'm going to leave you with a quote from a wise man who once told me that love for others were the keys to the kingdom of heaven within myself. And if I get lost or forget or fall down, all I have to do is ask an angel, and I'll know him or her when they speak, because it is an action word and something that you do. Look for that action. Don't mess with actors and liars with their own actions. And remember, one moment of truth can put out hundreds of years of lies. I am you and you are me. Each one teach one. I love you.